season 3 of Down and Dirty. Now today we're going to talk about the raw and uncomfortable conversations when it comes to relationships and marriage. But before I get started, of course you want to know who this amazing cast is. I'll let them introduce themselves.
All right, I'll go first. So my name is JP. I work in HR, but on the side, and my main focus is doing my podcast.
Okay.
So my podcast is called Insufficient Funds. Follow the page, Insufficient Funds. That's the page. But then my personal page is JP_Paden, P-A-D-E-N, JP_PADEN.
Okay.
So you're what?
My fiance.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry for a second. Hi, I'm this man's fiance.
Oh.
My name is Iyani Lenice. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm a freelance journalist / entrepreneur hairstylist. I do braids, twists, locks, all of the above. And I also do media as well, as a side gig as well. My social media is IyaniLenice.tv. Again, Iyani, I-Y-A-N-I, Lenice, Lenice.tv. All right.
Glad to have y'all. Yeah. What's up, girl?
It's hard to follow them. My name is Makayla. I'm consistent. My friend is in the shop, but here's my
Period.
band.
Okay. Band is a band. Okay.
Hello.
Thank you, because I'm newly wedded with this lovely. He's the love of my life. Thank you. I am currently a stay-at-home wife.
Period.
I was injured in a car accident, but that's not the thing. God led us to be closer through it. I get to be all cute and watch Housewives until I get back into the job force. And I love people, so customer service is my thing. I'll pass it off to the assistant manager at Publix.
Okay.
My name is Josh. I'm a assistant grocery manager at Publix. My Instagram is schizotrendic, SCHIZOTRENDIC.
Spelling it.
I make music occasionally. I don't have my own music, but you can check out Money Bizzle. We got a song called Because Of.
Okay.
My music name is Legato Blue at the moment. I don't know what it's going to change to because I'm still finding myself, but
Okay.
check it out when you get a chance.
All right. Well, welcome, Cass. Happy to have you guys. Listen up. Y'all ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. So it takes two to make a relationship work. Right. Tell me a little bit more about what you guys do daily to ensure the success of your marriage.
Well, we're not married yet, but we want to incorporate. I'm a very big affection person.
Okay.
And so I like to make sure that he has hugs or kisses each day.
I love
Whether
that.
it's when we wake up or go to sleep. I appreciate love languages as that way.
Right.
Showing affection. And he's not affectionate at all. So
Okay.
I'm working on it.
it feels like pulling teeth sometimes, but we're, you know.
We'll take the growth.
Yeah.
I'm working on that. I've never been the person that's a very lovey-dovey,
Okay.
but I'm working on that because I know that's her love language. So, I try to give her a kiss when I leave and go to work.
Aww.
And, things like that. So.
And so is that something you kind of grew up? You weren't really affectionate growing up? Or tell me about that.
I wouldn't say that. I just never been like that.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, I won't say I never seen it, but it was just never something that was, one of the things that I had to do.
Right.
So.
And he grew up around all girls too.
I did, yeah. So it was just my mom and my 2 sisters, right?
Okay.
The way his affection is, I feel like it's different. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
Yeah, like
his like protective.
it's weird. Like, I'm
Okay. So it shows in different ways. Okay.
Right.
So
Versus
that's
Okay,
kind of where it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
just different episodes.
So communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about y'all?
Yeah, our newlywedism gives off. We've been married for years. But my biggest thing is communication, and not just communication, but communicating in a way that is understood appropriately by him.
I like that.
Because I feel like I'm a good communicator, and I'll say my feelings are hurt, and he'll be like, "Why your feelings hurt?" And I'll be like, "Bruh."
Right.
Sometimes she has to have a whole 30-year-long conversation.
But that's ladies though.
Bruh.
That's ladies. And I be I do be like, okay, this is why I'm mad.
Yes.
I understand.
I understand
Like,
that.
let me
but for
explain
me,
it.
Like for me, sometimes it's like okay, I get it. That makes sense. Like I'll work on that. And then it's like, but that wasn't really the root of it.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well I understand that. Well actually it turns out Hold on, I thought I had
It's like a whole
5 minutes. I was good for a 10-minute conversation, not a 30-minute conversation.
Right.
I thought I was ready. Let's slow it up. But then by that point, y'all already involved, so it's like
They gonna get all of it out.
Yes.
To be fair, I have started asking, are you ready for this conversation?
Okay,
So you prep him for it.
I prep him and then he'll be like, yeah, I'm ready. And I was like, no, I don't think you're ready because you at work or you're about to go to work. And I'm trying to be considerate because I know that I've been working on myself and trying to be closer with God and closer with myself. And so all that means is that when something happens between us, I'm instead of just being like, I didn't like how you left and you only gave me one kiss and you know we do 2 kisses.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be like, okay. So as a child, it always felt blah blah blah.
Okay,
I
so
felt like my
expressive.
feelings weren't validated because if I don't give him the reason, it keeps repeating.
Right.
Yes,
And then I
agree.
feel more and more unloved. And then he come in one day, try to give me a kiss, and I'm like, no, don't talk to me.
I agree.
And then I'm trying to help you help me.
So it's communication for both of y'all,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
But
What are you doing to
communication.
ensure that though? Like making sure that, you know what, I'm working on communicating. What are we doing to get closer to our goal?
Right.
I take the time to, and it's funny, I will actively, because I used to be very reactive,
Okay.
to where I know I take time, I try to meditate, woosah on it, make sure that I'm not just reacting and actually have an actual response.
Okay.
And so I actually think on it instead of just saying something immediate. And sometimes I give her exactly what she needs.
Right.
But then she doesn't know how to take it because she's used to, well, you always do this. So then when it's like,
Yes.
okay, well, let me give you this. Wait, why are you?
Wait, I don't yell like that. I don't breathe like that. Because I'll just have to take a second. I'll be like, okay, while you're sitting here talking, are you talking for understanding or are you just venting? Because I need to know. Because if we're talking for understanding, we will have that 45-minute conversation and we will go all the way through all of our childhood traumas so that we can grow together.
So that brings us to the next question. What are some of those uncomfortable conversations or the boundaries you have to set to get to the stage your relationship is in right now?
Not we all.
Not everybody.
Trauma growing up.
Yeah.
I know that was a bigger thing for her. She's dealt with it a lot longer. For me, that was, because you never really realize how much things have actually affected you until you actively have to deal with it.
Right.
So even just my relationship with my mother, we have a great relationship, but I realized that there are things that I held on to growing up with her that doesn't always mesh with how she was used to being raised.
Okay.
And our different mindsets on how, like she talks about mental health and that's a big thing.
Right.
So for her, she's like, oh, this is, mental health and this is, I deal with this. And I was like, cool, I understand that. And then when I realized what that truly meant, for me, I was like, oh no, this was not something that I was prepared for, but always being willing to adapt and learn
I like that.
each part of that. And there's some parts where it's like, I don't even want to deal with it. We'll try again next week.
Yeah.
But there are some days where I can sit and be like, okay, we'll work it out. Let's figure it out. What makes you comfortable? How can I move with that? And sometimes it just,
Talk about, everybody had a past where they didn't have their present. And so let's talk about how bringing those expectations in the bedroom can, of course, destroy your relationship. Go ahead.
Just have this conversation.
Come on now. Let's talk about that. What's going on?
Oh no, I'm listening. No.
We have answer first.
Go ahead.
So don't take up the whole session. Don't do it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Why y'all gotta go? No,
So I think that coming into a fresh relationship, right, you're kind of still in the honeymoon phase.
Okay.
You're obsessed with each other. You kind of forget about real life. You're willing to be late for work, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Once that dwindles, when you have for us, this is our experience. Once we had a child, our priorities are no longer, physical with each other. It's more making sure this baby's breathing, alive, fed, has a roof over his head, food in his stomach every day.
Okay.
And we now have to make time to have physical intimacy. Okay. I wouldn't say schedule, but we do have to make sure on Tuesdays and Thursdays that, I make sure I genuinely, like all jokes aside, on Wednesdays and Sundays, I do not work on Sundays at all, and I do not work on Saturday nights, and I do not work on Wednesday nights on purpose, so that at least we can have time to, have a date night or, a something.
Okay.
And so
try to do it.
Okay.
I like how he said.
why? Because sometimes we don't make it out the fire. We are older now, guys. We are not 26 when we started this. We are 30.
30s. So y'all be getting sleepy.
Wait, you 30? Wait, how old are you?
32.
You don't know?
He said, I got you to Okay, so
Bitch, I'm tired. So, but like I said, the plan is to not work Wednesday nights, Saturday nights, and Sundays. But I'd be exhausted.
So what about the expectations? So everybody has expectations. You know, Tyrone might have had you jumping out the window, and then
Don't bring up Tyrone.
No.
You're trying to ruin my day.
and then you know now your current man just wants you to lay down there. So let me just talk about not bringing those expectations in the bedroom.
I don't know how to do that without just throwing him out in the street to get ran over.
It's okay. It's
Go
okay.
ahead.
Beautiful. So,
Not beautiful.
before, she was ready.
Go ahead.
Because there's no way to do it without him. So, before we got together, he was with primarily not ethnic women.
Oh,
like,
okay.
his ethnic was Vietnamese.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And then he had a whole bunch of, like, the
Color, just not
the
our
amount
color.
of Katie's
Uh-huh.
that he talks about, because they're all different Katie's. And he's like, not the Katie with the big ass, the Katie with the big boobs, the Katie that had the Katie that like anal.
Okay.
She used to ask for anal. Not I. We came back to the ethnic side. I'm not saying not everybody likes to do it, but what I'm saying
She
is,
thought she was a freak until she found out.
I thought I
what a
was,
freak
and now
actually was.
when
Oh,
everybody
no.
talks about freaks, because he's like, they used to ask for this, they used to like to do it on a handstand, flip nowhere, and I'd be like, if the sheet's clean, am I clean? Are you clean? Don't do that. That hurts me. And he's like, just take it. No, that's rape.
Rape's not funny. For the record,
so
rape's
talk
not
about-
funny. That was funny.
So talk about y'all expectations from him going.
I had to say that because I was raped, and not by him.
Okay,
Sorry, people.
go ahead.
He told me not to traumatize people, and I came straight out.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so because when I say no, he knows that somewhere deep inside, I'm really like
Traumatized.
freaking out,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I know that you're not them, but if I freak out, I'm not even strong enough to fight you.
Right.
But like, so we dealt with infidelity, like he cheated, and I didn't know that the reason he was so intimate and like he was hands-on when he was, and he was excited to see me, I didn't know it was because he was dealing with other people in the in-between time, and I was driving from Atlanta to Huntsville, so when I wasn't there, he was dealing with those people. And one of the girls that he was dealing with, she's like 5'2", 5 foot, she's tiny, Vietnamese, skinny, can be bent, flipped, and I am 5'6", 220 pounds.
Period.
And I'm not saying that
Full
'cause I'm
figures, ma'am.
just
Hello.
full.
A diva.
So he'd be like, you don't bend like she would bend. And I found videos in his phone of when he was cheating. So I knew how he was sleeping with them. So it created a strong problem.
Right.
Right.
Because I'm like, your face it's more excited when you have been like this than when you have me been like this. And he like, and I'm like, yeah.
But how did y'all get past that?
I don't know if we are.
Okay.
A lot of
That's
people,
right.
we had to have a lot of conversation, and I realized for me, and that's part of just, I realized from trauma growing up, because my mom was always like, you the best, so you can do what the hell you want. Like, going to prom my senior year, I was dating a girl, we went my junior year. My senior, my mom was like, I mean, you should take this one because she's cute. Like, I know you're dating her, but so I always had a problem, like, I would have moments where it was like, I felt like I had multiple personalities because there was genuine me who was just, I love for love.
Right.
And then my alter ego, we call him Juan Rico III, the big bandit. Because he's
Oh, hell.
he's terrible. That's terrible him. But he's like, he was literally just like,
My drink's not
a lot of relationships and stuff I dealt with, I actually had women who screwed me over so much that I was like, oh, relationships really don't matter.
Right.
So for me, it was easier to be intimate with different women at the same time because it's like, okay, this one wants this one wants this, and if it was a different variety, it's easy to be like, this one don't care if you don't love her when you do it. So you wild out with this one and this one, it's like, okay, I can be passionate. So it was like things like that I had an issue, but regular me was like, I want to get married one day, I want to have kids, I want to do things a certain way. And other me was like, enjoy the day.
So how do y'all deal with those expectations? Because like you said, you've been with multiple women and she might like what she likes. So how do y'all find that balance? Like, hey, this is what I want.
She struggles with it sometimes because she thinks that I make too many concessions because I'm like, it's okay. Like, we don't have sex all the time. Like, when we first started out, she would drive to Huntsville, I would drive to Atlanta, and it was on site pretty much.
But then he would always make jokes about all you want to do is have sex. That's all you care about. And I told him, I communicated, please stop doing that. It makes me feel like you really feel like it's a problem, and and I don't want you to feel like that's all I want from you. Especially because he said that's all women ever want is my dick. So fuck it.
That's all.
So then I kept telling him, because if I know I have mental, like I'm a little more sensitive mentally, I started saying I would never want you to feel that way.
Right.
Let me talk to you. What's your favorite color?
Right.
And then so he stopped. Like he would. Wow, how dirty is this?
Dirty.
As dirty as you know.
I'm dirty. If my parents or anybody that knows me knows, just act like you didn't see it. So he would get head from the moment I woke up to the moment we going to sleep. Like if I just felt like having something to do, he'd be playing a game, getting head. Mute the thing.
So he was
active.
Right.
And then we moved. And then his personality switched, and he was just irritable. And I was like, okay, he did say all I wanted was sex, so let me stop trying to have sex. Let me start to connect with him. And then it just turned out that he was cheating, and that was why. So then for me, tragically, because I watched the videos, and because the videos had the timestamps that let me know that they were happening while we were together, I started gaining weight, which pushed me deeper into depression, which makes it so that having sex with him now is insanely difficult for me mentally. Because mentally I'm like, I'm never going to be as skinny as she was. I'm never going to be the size she was. I'm never going to want to like anal. I'm never going to want you to go, and me just be like, yeah, daddy, do it. Yeah. I'm going to be like, ow, you didn't love me first. Like, wash that dish.
Different for you. Right. Yes.
But that's the problem. When we first were doing it, because I was always engaging, I was always ready. So he didn't realize that now you have to warm me up because you told me to slow down. And I told you, stop telling me that. I'm going to stop. And now I'm stopping. He's like, we don't have sex but once a month. And I'm like, that's your fault.
So now do y'all feel like y'all in a place where it's like, okay, y'all are understanding each other's expectations?
It's hard because I'm injured.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because
she's injured, so that kind of,
I get that.
because with her shoulder, even the boring stuff is a struggle.
I can't.
So it's literally, but I mean, in general, like I understand now, and even just mentally, I'm like, I understand, because even I would tell her like, okay, just get back to that. Like at this point, I deal with it however, because this is just. But because she's injured and just things that's going on, like I understand, and I'm like, cool, take what you need to do for you, and we'll just roll it. But sometimes she gets upset because she's like, you make too many concessions, because she's like, now you're nice, now you do the things I want, and I'm like. Well, that's part of changing and growing. Like, you have to.
And you're married. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, you're literally committed to each other for life. Like, so if, God forbid, either one of us could get injured and it would be the same situation. Like,
y'all communicate with y'all partner. Hey, I like this. I don't like this. Hey, I don't like this. I don't want to fit this.
I mean, I try to tell him, like, I think we're good. We know what we like and don't like.
Yeah, no.
But we're like, I personally feel like being with him and like the type of sex that we have is different, obviously, than anybody else. So like expectations, I feel like before, where I was younger, I was more, immature. I was still kind of learning my sexuality and what I like and don't like and whatever. But like with him, it's like our love is different. So the way that we have sex is different. It's not just like effing. It's like we're having like
passionate, right?
Yeah, like it's and sometimes it's not always they ain't always sometimes it's a quick 10-minute in and out, but I mean I think the enjoyment is that the expectations I had when I was younger are not what I have now. Now it's like how do
y'all balance that now with the kid though? Because y'all have new responsibilities.
That little man will walk in when he feels like walking in. Okay, we've had plenty of times where we have to put the covers up and talk to him. But he's so independent that it's like usually we'll just stop for a second. Yes, Jaja, what do you need? And he'll say what he needs, and we'll say, oh, that's in your room. And he'll go back and he'll be, okay, mommy. And he goes back in his room.
Okay.
So we're at the phase now where like he is nosier. Like he'll come in, if he hears that we're awake, he'll walk in our room. Mommy, Daddy, what are you doing? And we're like,
Right.
wish that you would leave, honestly, you know. But, so it is harder. We have had times where we've had to just stop because it's like, all right, you know, this is our life now. We're parents, so just let, you know, whatever.
Right.
But it's not the end of the world to us because you
Yeah.
know, at the end of the day, like it's not the end of the world to have sex when I have sex.
Right.
It is nice, yeah, of course.
For me, but
Right, but
Go ahead, JP, because you sound like you got to get some off your chest. Go ahead now.
no. I mean, I just feel like Iyani's known me for how long? We've known each other now since
2011, 2012.
Oh, wow. Okay.
and she knows who I was in the past.
Okay.
I'm a person
A dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog.
Oh, so you and Juan Rico would have been friends.
Oh, and,
That's
and,
awesome.
well, if you would have been kidding us off stage, we would have had a time.
Well,
But
thank God we were.
But, yeah, you know.
That's a lot.
yeah, I mean, she knows me. She knows everything about me. Like, there's nothing that Iyani doesn't know. So, you know, she kind of knows my past. I mean,
Right.
but now we're good, right?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I was like, yeah, we are. I mean, I've literally, like, when we were just best friends, completely platonic.
Because y'all were best friends for a while.
Yeah,
Right,
like,
right.
so when we genuinely were, like, we were dating other people or just, you know, whatever, with other people, we were still friends, right? So, like, even in instances where he would talk to me about his ex or, like, if times when we were together, I don't know how we ever got on this conversation, but we would watch other videos. Like, he would show me, you know, things that he would do with other people. I'm like, oh, dang. Like, it was, for me, it was more of an interest, like, wow, that's
So, yeah, no,
interesting.
for me.
I know. It's different, but it wasn't.
No, it's not.
I didn't
She
feel
wanted to
like
see
that
the
one
truth.
day.
It was real
It's
from
not.
the videos.
It's not, because the way that I learned about the videos was because I had asked. He said that he kept
Yeah,
stuff
right. So you asked him,
and I was like, I want to see.
it's like you're just curious. Like,
Because-
who are you?
But that messes with your
people, you
mental.
know?
Like,
No,
it doesn't.
No, it didn't until the
No,
time
she liked
stamp was
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were together.
Okay.
I was like, oh, shit.
This is what you.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
because to me, I was like, let's try that position next time.
Yeah, but I think for me it was more like for me, this is my personal experience. When I was watching, it wasn't like that I was comparing myself to her.
Right.
We're completely different people. I offered things that maybe this girl or this whoever couldn't offer, or vice versa.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm with him now.
What are those uncomfortable conversations where you're down, you know, praying for each other or praying over one another? What are some of those conversations you're having to get better?
I think. Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
I laughed because of his face, not because I'm
Oh,
so sorry.
no, you're fine. That's okay. But I think one struggle that we went through where we really had to get like understand each other was when you had quit your job
Yeah.
so we were pregnant and we were long distance at the time. He was working in Virginia, I was working in Atlanta.
Right.
And it was hard. I mean, 7 hours is
It's
hard,
long time,
and it was
yeah.
during COVID,
And I
right?
was
So it
traveling
was
every weekend back and forth
Wow.
from Virginia.
Mhm.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
that was a hard test
pregnant
for us.
alone,
I was
right?
pregnant, basically by myself. Not that he wasn't there, but physically, And so the hard part came when it came down to like, all right, we're 8 months pregnant. This baby could literally come at any time.
Right.
We cannot keep doing long distance. So the choice was for him to, quit
my job.
unfortunately, quit his
Right.
job that he really liked and move back to Atlanta. And it was hard for us because he was actively looking, but it was COVID.
Yeah.
You know, it just wasn't like the perfect time to be
Yeah.
looking for a job. So we did have a hard time where we really had to like fight through depression. And,
Yeah,
it was
figure
like
it out.
happy because we had a baby, but it's also like we need another form of income. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So it was a tough,
Yeah,
I don't know if you have anything
And
to
it's
add.
like, I had savings and all that, but like,
Right.
I had
That
to
goes
blow
fast,
through that
yeah.
because
To pay for
I
the
wasn't
baby.
working. I moved back here. I had to move back on my own. And we had to pay bills and all that stuff. So it was tough, and we had a brand new baby. So that was tough for us for sure.
And so how did that make you feel?
Horrible. I mean, it was. I was always had a job, right? So it was
Right.
just like not having a job. It was like, okay, I need to figure this out. But it's like people weren't hiring at the time, so
Sure.
it's like I'm going through the savings every month because
Right.
we have bills and stuff to make sure we're paying for. So it was tough for sure. So it took me like probably about 8 months to get another
Almost
job.
a year.
So literally everything that I had, I went through it just because we had to make sure everything's paid. I had bills still, and then I was living in Virginia,
Mhm.
and I had a condo there or whatever, and
You gotta pay for that.
I had to pay for that still. I was still paying for that every month.
Yeah,
so
it was tough.
it was tough.
But I think the caveat here is that, I think that's the right word, but that after reflection, right? So like what made it, we got through the hard part because we were like, all right, I can hold it down. You know, I've been living by myself essentially anyways, right? So I've already been paying the bills that are here already. So it would help us if we don't have to worry about childcare. I know that this is uncomfortable for you because you're not working, but like he got to spend 8 months with our brand new son, which I don't know how to raise a boy. So it was perfect for them to get that bonding time, and that built their relationship together. And I personally loved that they were always together and, you know, raising their time. Yeah, and I feel like that was important for him. So it was like, yes, it was hard, but then there was other things that were not monetary that we were able to realize, like, you know, God works in mysterious ways. Like, it's kind of nice that he has time. We don't have to worry about childcare for a little bit. You know, we're saving money that way. We don't have our parents aren't here. We live here by ourselves. So we don't have grandma, grandpa kind of thing. And so it kind of worked out. It worked itself out. It was tough for him mentally, I feel like. And we had our struggle moments because it was just COVID.
Right.
But I think we kind of
came out on top. Right. I was saying that.
We were able to talk about it. So.
Okay, I'm so proud.
That's the only example right now.
And so, does your partner make you feel safe? What y'all think? Do y'all make each other feel safe? Be honest.
I do not feel safe all the time, but it's fine. We're working on it.
Okay.
We almost started and said we're not coming because I was like, how am I going to sit on the couch and tell people I love my marriage? Your marriage is beautiful.
Well, talk about that. Talk about those.
You know, whatever. For me, it's because. So, yes, we had similar backgrounds. Our moms are very similar in personality.
Okay.
Which also means both of our parents are narcissistic. So, and I don't want to speak for all the Black community, but the Black community that I'm around, emotional abuse is not really a problem.
Yeah.
They're like, get over it. It's your feelings. Stop crying about it. So, as a kid, I stopped crying. Right. Because I was like, if it doesn't matter how I feel, then obviously I'm the only person that can help myself. Like, I'm a very literal thinker.
Right.
So even as a kid, I was like, if I'm the only person that can fix my problems, then go within, separate myself from everybody else, get myself together, and then come back out. Because of where we were when we moved in, I thought we were at a place where I could tell him. And I told him before we got together, like, I went through all of my things. I was like, I deal with depression. I deal with anxiety. I have mommy issues. I'm working on myself. Like, I told him everything. Right. So to me, when we came into it, and then he saw me depressed, and he was like, "Get up! Why are you like? What do you mean? Like, that's
depression truly was."
Because he said he had depression.
But I realized for her, it's genuinely like
depression.
I can't move.
Wow.
For a month or so.
Different. Yeah.
So for me, it was like I don't feel the day. I'll thug it out. I'll figure it out. Whatever. I'll hate everybody, but I'll just be there. For her, depression is, I'm alive. I'm here.
Right.
But I'm not.
And that
happy.
was, so stuff like that was where we really, because then she was like, well, you said you were okay with that. And I was like, I was until.
But it looks different for both of y'all, right?
Because men, like as men, we can't sit here and be depressed or we can't cry. We can't go through that stuff.
But see, that's the thing I'm trying to teach him. You can't.
Because we don't know that as children. Right. Because that's what we're not talking.
Right.
So, yeah, that's
because I was still going to work. So he said it out loud one day, and I thought it was unfortunate, but I was like, it's true. He's like, when it comes to emotions, I'm more masculine.
Okay.
When it comes to emotions, he is sometimes more feminine. He was raised with his mom and his sister.
Okay.
Although I was raised with my mom, I act just like my daddy. And so when it comes to emotions, yes, like I'll feel the feelings and I feel them deeply because I'm a very sensitive person.
Right.
But I'll also be saying, I prayed about it. God said this is what I'm supposed to do, and I surrendered to the situation. But then he'll be like, "But you crying about it," and I'm like, "Because I'm still allowed to have the feelings."
Exactly.
So it's a back and forth, and like I'm not currently really talking to my mother, which is it's just for my mental health.
Right.
She's a beautiful person. We just don't vibe like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so with him, his mom, and how they communicate, I would notice after he would be around his family for long periods of time, even like 2 days, or if he would talk to his mom, the way he would come back to me would be sharper, more direct, less empathetic.
You didn't like that.
I did not like that because I was like, we made all this progress, and then you get off the phone and you like suck it up, and I'm like,
Right. Right.
Because, and then I ended up just shutting down.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, I resent my husband. I was like, that is so trash.
Mhm.
But then I said, the problem with me and growing within myself, I kept saying, it depends on me.
Right.
So I have to grow. I have to be able to feel and
That's
say
good.
how I feel, and then I can communicate it to him. And then he has the opportunity to meet me or say, get over it. And then we'll go from there.
Right.
So for me, it was just like, I didn't feel safe because I would tell him up front all of my things.
Right.
When we would get to a situation where I would be communicating, like him and his mom's biggest thing is, get over it.
And
It
that's
happened
not how you
yesterday.
function. Right.
No.
Right. Right.
But the funny thing is, he would say that's how he functioned, but then he would snap at me for something that had nothing to do with me, but he didn't see it. So all these deep conversations he feels like we have all of a sudden, it's because I'm like, I love you enough and I'm committed. Because sometimes he'll be like, recently he was like, well, why are you here? And I was like, because I prayed about it.
Right.
And every time
Sometimes
I
That's real though.
Sometimes it's
I
like
was
that.
just about to say, love is a choice. Like, it's a choice.
Talk about that. Good child.
I feel like, I mean, at the stage that we're at, like she's gonna know for everything first before anybody.
I love
So if anything happens with me, whether it be good or bad, she's gonna know regardless. I don't care if we're mad at each other or whatever. Like
That's girls right
Yeah,
there. Right.
that's-
Right. Hello.
that's different.
Right. That's different. Right.
But see,
that's-
to me, sorry,
No,
that's
you're good.
safe.
That's
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because
Right.
we're at the space that we're at right now, right?
Right. But you have to get there, right?
Oh, for sure. We
I
have
feel
to
like
get
the
there.
safe space isn't always like she said. I feel like it's not
The mushy gushy.
it's not
all the time.
it's always a safe space even if you don't agree. I can say I don't want to tell you nothing. I'm not gonna tell somebody else.
Right.
Right.
It just might
I
be-
guess
I'm gonna
that's
have
what
to
I was
hold on
trying
Yeah.
to say.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still a choice at the end of the day, right? Like
Okay.
I look at you and we have gotten in an argument and you are getting on my nerve. Like just your breathing makes me want to just.
That's
I know. But still, like.
not over here.
I'm weak, but it's still like, say for example, like we weren't getting along and something great happens to me for something I've been pursuing, whether it be a job or like getting into the sesh or something. I still make sure he was at work, but I texted him, was like, guess what? Like, this is what happens because it's like, I know that you would understand, even if you don't really get what it is, you understand that it's exciting for me and you would be happy for me. But I still am mad at you, but I want you to know that this is something that makes me happy and it's something I want you to know about so we can share that excitement together. And so, yeah, like he was saying, it's a choice. To me, a safe space, yes, it's a feeling, but it's also a choice to like make sure that you're putting your actions into those feelings.
Okay.
Okay.
So men, it's a huge accomplishment to keep one woman happy. Of course, society makes you think, you know what, date around, have fun, but to make this woman happy for the rest of your life. Tell me, how does that make you feel? I mean, what you thinking?
That's a good question.
For me, honestly, at this point, it keeps it interesting because the thing that I'm thankful for, she introduced me to a lot of things, and sometimes that's what helps us. Like music festivals is something that I'd never gone to until I got with her. Things that was actually what got me to the point we went to a music festival. We had sat down, had dinner, and we were like, we agreed we're not going to be together. We're going to enjoy this festival. We'll just have a good time and let it be that.
I like that.
And that was one of the few times I saw her as natural her. And it was at that moment, I don't know if it was God. I say it was God because it was very random. She was still trying to do things to like make me happy. So one of the artists came up and she was trying to go up for the mosh pit because I had said I wanted to do it, but that's not how she normally does it. Even though we agreed, we weren't together, we weren't doing nothing, that was just thing that she did. She ended up getting hurt because of me, and we did a lot, got her out of there, and it was a moment where I saw her for who she truly was.
I love
And that was the moment that I was just like, I called my ex that day and I was like, we can't do this anymore. In order to make this work, I have to actively put in I can't say everyone fails me and I'm failing her. And that was the moment I let it go. We've never had any issue as far as other women since then. And that was very early in our relationship. So after that, there's constantly challenges, things, and dealing with trying to make her happy has helped me learn the things I need to make me happy.
I like that.
So it's always been a struggle. Even when we don't get along, there's moments where I can look back and say, okay, I handled this wrong, I handled this. And sometimes things get way too out of hand to where we've been like, we can't be married. We don't need to do this. And praying, because we laughed, like, even yesterday, we had a small, it was a small argument, honestly, but it was just like, I was like, God, if this is not what I'm supposed to be, like, just let her say, let her say anything out the way. I was like, the leeway for that, I was like, Jesus, the leeway is this hard for just, she could sneeze and say it's Friday, and I say, no, it's Tuesday, and that'd be enough for me. And I said, but let her say something nice, and that shows me that this is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. And she texted me and was like, I love you, I hear you, I want to reset the conversation we had. I was like, I was fixing to be home free.
Right. But he don't know the first message, it sat there, and I was like,
you deleted it.
I just I feel some type of, it was the opposite. And God was like, don't send that message. And I was like, why? And I was like, and then when he told me the story, I was like, we could have been single if I had just not listened.
It's kind of being with like one woman that was totally different from me. I never expected anything like that, but just being with her and making her happy, that was like #1 priority for my life. So, I mean, because like,
because you did that proposal in Greece now.
Do we want to talk about that?
Wait, answer the question first.
I mean, it's just, you know, her happiness is #1 for me because I know at the end of the day, she has my back like no other. No matter whoever it is, like, she's #1 in my life. Point blank, period. So, like I said, it was just totally different. Just, you know, accepting that, and that's the reason why I wanted to marry her, because it was like, this is my dog right here. Like, this is my dog right here, for real. Like, it was just totally different. You know what I'm saying? From being with however women to just being with her and knowing that she's there for me and just seeing that what she went through,
right? And,
you know, trying to fix that trauma for her. So we here for life, dog.
Oh, y'all are fine. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I hope we inspired you guys at home to have healthy relationships.
Talk about it.
Talk about it. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Aybrielbtv, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Down and Dirty.